Okay, y'all. Alright. Sorry. I'm being loud. Alright, let me just play some music whilst we're waiting. Because everything's popped down today. Ring light popped down, everything popped down. So, let me just put on a little some whilst we're waiting. What do you want to listen to, y'all? Because you have to be, hey Blind Society, hey RJ, what's up? So I'm interviewing someone today, guys. As you know, I was doing Spiritual Chronicles before, but then I put a stop to it. And then everyone's asking, why didn't I do it again? Why did I stop? So now it's back. It is back, baby. So stay tuned. I don't know what this says. My phone's doing its own thing. Okay. Yeah, so people asked me to do my Spiritual Chronicles again. So today's guest is someone that's very special, very spiritual, very open, has a lot of experience, good and bad, but has good stories to tell from the experience that can probably help someone in the near future. So that's all it's about, really, isn't it? Like being able to help people with our experiences, whether it's good or bad, trauma, whatever it may be. There's always someone out there thinking, oh, did someone else go through this and how did they cope? And then they come across you. That's the someone that's been through it and you're coping very well. So it's always good to share your stories with others because you never know who might just need it, right? So this is the whole point of Spiritual Chronicles as well. So I get spiritualists, astrologists, artists, singers, rappers, dancers, actors, whoever, business owners, single moms, single fathers, anyone that's just living the walk of life, right? Just because I feel like everyone needs to be seen, needs to be heard. And just finding someone and a platform, which I've brought, Spiritual Chronicles, where you can just express and network and get to know people and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm going to keep talking, but let's wait until he arrives. I'm going to share the live now. If he don't pull up, it's war. Sharing the live right now. The most annoying thing about this is I can't share it to everyone, so it's always limited. What's up, Zion? How you doing, hun? But I have shared the live, so hopefully he pulls up anytime soon. If not, we can just chill and chat until then. So I got my red wine. I'm about to pour up. Today I'm drinking with a straw because it's red wine. If you ever saw what I just did. Red wine stains your teeth. Love you too, baby. Red wine stains your teeth, so it's always good like to drink with a straw. If you can. Just be staining your teeth. Alright. Doing well? Good to hear. Stay tuned, okay? I'm just waiting. And it's so annoying because it's restricted. I can't just play any form of music. I can't just play anything. Because of the copyright thing that Instagram likes to go on about copyrights. But then at the same time, like, how, if I'm allowed to play a certain song in my story or on my reels, shouldn't that be the same thing? Gotta give it a bit of time. We can just chill, as I said. Play some music for now. T-Royal. I don't know what this is, but we can play. What are you doing, Zan? Pull up if you want. Pull up and kill time with me. Pull up, Zan, whilst I'm waiting for him. What's up, Killer Cow? There he is. Alright, so when you pull up, we're just going to wait for people to arrive. Yeah, don't bother that. He's here anyway. You can't hear? Can you hear me? Send me a... No, come out and then come back in and you should be able to hear me. Close all the other apps as well. You should be able to hear me. Alright, can you hear now? Alright, perfect. Alright, I just sent you a request. Sent my request. Yeah, that's so fucking stupid. For the Instagram, I hate when it does that. Sorry, my language. I'm trying to have this fake fish tank going along and they're going to give me ads. Look at my fish tank. It's so pretty. I got a real fish tank as well. Alright, I need to show you this live properly. What can I share? Share. I hate that I can't play music. I should be able to play a frequency though, right? I should be able to play frequency. What's that, kid? Alright, pull up, guys. Stay tuned. So I brought back Spiritual Chronicles because loads of people asked me to do it. And it's only right. I interviewed loads of people, if you have been around, like Janae Aiko's dad and a few other people, musicians, magicians, brujas, to astrologists, to actors, to dancers, singers, a bit of everything. I feel like everyone should be seen and heard. What's up, Kwame? Alright, why are you not pulling up? Alright, there you are. Alright, who remembers this song on GTA? I used to be rolling on GTA to this. This was my jam.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, welcome. Yes. Oh shit, it looks cold out there.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cold. It's just not as cold as Detroit, Michigan. It's not as cold as Michigan, but it's pretty cool out here.
It's freezing. I'm not gonna ask you where you are, but it looks freezing where you are. Okay, so take time now to introduce yourself. Okay.
I'm John Marshall. I'm here to inspire as an example for the collective consciousness. I focus
Wait,
on
your reception.
Huh?
Your network's really bad. Is it him or me, guys?
Oh, it's cutting out? Hold on.
Yeah. It was.
Hold on. Hold on real quick.
Yeah, it's them trees. It's that weather. I'm looking like you're on the Blair Witch Project. Is it his reception or mine, guys? Am I okay? Let me watch from my other phone. And then I can see which connection it is. Out there looks so gloomy. Yeah, because your screen is now frozen. I'm just hoping.
Is it better now?
I literally. All right, stay now. I'm going to check from my side because I can't see who's in the comments right now.
Is it better now? Is it better now? Let's see. Is it better now? Is it better
Yeah,
now? Let's see.
you're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
glitching. That's so annoying. Because you're still a
Annoying.
bit glitching.
No, dude. No, I'm about to hop out and I'm gonna hop back in.
All right, do that. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect. Let me turn off my Wi-Fi over here as well. He's gonna come back in, guys. Turn for Wi-Fi there. All right, let me set the mood. Let me set the room. All right, we'll wait for him to send a request. But welcome everyone to Spiritual Chronicles. I need to get my fan base up again. Moment. Welcome, Sheeple. All right. Yeah, I need to get my fan base up again and go live more. I stopped doing it. How do I spell your name now? Ja. All right, there he is. All right, let's see how this works now.
How clear is it now? How
It
clear
is
is
better.
it now?
It is better. All right, so how you feeling?
I am grateful. I am full of greatness.
That's not like in abundance. Ashe, ashe, ashe.
I'm outside in the cold, but I'm feeling hot. Yeah.
Have you eaten?
I am in control. I am what is thought.
That's what I'm talking about. I need this researcher to work with us, okay? All right, so I have a few questions for you today. All right? Some may be a bit like, some may look a bit intruding, but they're questions that I do have, okay?
There's
So,
nothing intruding. There's nothing intruding about me.
so you've got to be very transparent.
There's nothing intruding that can be like feel like intruding to me because I am open. I'm a very open book. I'm certain things. If I feel sensitive about it, or if there's anything that's in my personal life that I don't feel like talking about, I'm gonna reroute. I'm gonna give you an answer, but I'm gonna reroute it in another form to where you can understand it without me actually revealing what's going on.
Okay, we can play that game. That's what I like. Okay, so he's going to be very transparent with us today, guys. Stay tuned, stay tuned. Share the live before we start asking questions. Share the live. Thank you. Welcome to Spiritual Chronicles, where everything is real and everything is open. So I literally will interview anyone of any walks of life, okay? From someone that may not have a home, someone that's living in the riches. I do not discriminate. I just show love, peace, and balance. So yeah, that's what Spiritual Chronicles is basically about. So follow the life, follow the life, follow the life. If you do want to be a guest of Spiritual Chronicles and share your gifts or ideas or your conspiracy theories, because I am a conspiracy theorist myself, and I say that with my whole gut and chakra, okay? if you do want to join, just message me and I'll throw up a flyer and then you can join me. I need someone, I think, this Sunday to come, so you can be my next guest on Sunday. So stay tuned. I have today with me Ja. I have Ja, and he said he would be very transparent for us today, guys. So we can ask him whatever we feel like, and he's just gonna be living in his truth and being open and sharing us a bit about Ja and his walks of life and where he is now. So Ja, how was 2022 for you? Mentally, physically,
2022 was
and spiritually.
very revealing. Very revealing about things directly about myself and indirectly about my environment and the other people that I was dealing with. Um, it was very insightful. It was very insightful. I learned that I need to withhold my energy and concentrate it in such a way to only give out my specific pieces of my energy to certain events, people, places, and things at specific times. When it comes to astrology, I don't know if you know a lot of people are into astrology, but when it comes to astrology, when it comes to numerology, and when it comes to cosmology, which is really over astrology, and ontology, which is the study of being, um, I've seen myself in 2022, different parts of myself in everything. It's basically forced me to see that in everything because I have a Saturn return that I'm completing right now, and my Saturn return my Saturn has been on my fucking ass. I have an Aquarius Saturn, and we're in the age of Aquarius right now, and so it's really been on my ass since we came into the beginning of the age of Aquarius in what 2020. I think it was 2020. No, it was 2021. The end of 2021, we officially came into the age of Aquarius, the beginning stages of the age of Aquarius. So it's really been on my ass since then, and it was really heightened in 2022. And so yeah,
Yeah.
I've been through being a hopeless romantic. I've been through spiritual psychosis multiple times,
We're going
um,
to speak on that.
and I've been through like major like what you call irritation, irritation with having to be in isolation,
Yeah.
and that's what I've been through in 2022. But it's been a very fulfilling experience because I've learned a lot more about myself. I learned a lot more about my environment. I learned
Okay.
a lot more about how to deal with the energies that I have. So yeah,
That's about that. Exactly. That's what it's about. So you mentioned something, right? And I've seen it happen frequently and a lot more in the last 3 years. Okay, especially with us melanated people. So when people are becoming awakened and very more in tune to themselves, there's an easy confusion or easy gateway that's open that causes mental psychosis. Okay, so a lot of people will assume that person's on drugs or they've taken something or they're having some demonic attack or some shit, right? When most of the time you've hit a certain dimension that is not fit for this world. Does that make sense? So as we all know, there's 12 dimensions, and the last dimension is near to death experience. It's like death. There's some monks that actually hit the 11th dimension, and that is being able to breathe, live off of breath. So that means being a breatharian, not having food or drink, and just
right,
literally living off their breath. But their psychosis and what they visualize and see is beyond this realm. Right? So imagine a person that's living in a fast track world that has their mind so awakened in a world that's so grey. So they're like the colorful people. I like to call the colorful people the awakened people again. Um, Trying to fight self in this world we live in. And that causes a psychosis. So can you just break down your experience and what was the triggers and did you feel supported?
Um, okay. Well, one experience was when I went into my first ontological meditation. And when I say ontological, I mean going to the source of my being, going to the source of my being, which I've actually had an experience like this like years ago. But when I say years ago, like 2018, maybe 2019, I had this experience of experienced in what we call the void, um, and being the void. But I experienced it again recently in in the beginning of 2022. I experienced that again, but I experienced it with an intention this time because the first time I experienced it, it was unbeknownst to me. I did not know what was going on. Like my higher self just came to me through the lotus flower, the purple lotus flowers over me, the crown chakra energy over me, and it just threw, and I was going through a lot at the time, and I was very confused, and it just threw it over me at the time. But at this point in time, I was also going through a lot, but I intensively wanted to experience this. I intensively wanted to go through the process of going back to the source of myself and getting to know the energies and going through shadow work. So in that moment, I was right before that moment, I was overwhelmed with a lot of information when it comes to spirituality. I was overwhelmed with numerology. I was overwhelmed with astrology, different forms of astrology, because there's so many different forms of it. I was overwhelmed with so many different forms of religions and different forms of spirituality. Um,
Yeah,
to where I was
it can
like,
be very
I
overwhelming.
felt like I lost my way, and I, dang it, okay, I felt like I lost. I felt like I didn't know where I was going. Like I was just all over the place. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know which way to go, and so I went within. And when I went within, this experience was like I lost everything. It was like a let go. It was like a reset. And so when I went into this experience, I crossed over from the void space um, right into multidimensionality. And what it was like was I was experiencing multiple versions of myself, experiencing different lives with similar energies of the beings that I would like that I know I can communicate with and things like that. But it would look different. Each one of them will look different, and each one of those experiences, there was a specific piece that was slightly different as well of information that I could take in. And so, like what my higher self was telling me in that moment, and being in multidimensionality, um, what my experience was telling me was basically, um, you know, while this was happening, my higher self was basically telling me, "Yo, you got the ability. Since you got the ability to go into these multiple dimensions, different states of yourself, and these different bodies, and these different forms of ego or different senses of self, and be able to retain certain information from that, you also have the ability to go into different timelines." And so I was like, "Whoa, hold on!" Like when it told me that, I was like, "Hold on." So you mean I can go back into like my childhood and like correct things like that,
So
like
when you
doing
say
shadow work,
they, who's they?
huh?
When you say they, who's they?
Oh, when I say a day,
Yeah, just for the audience. Who's they?
my higher self is Uja. Uja is well, that's what I named it. That's what I named it, or
Hmm.
they name it, or they. It's
Hmm.
Uja. Uja. Uja means prosperity in ancient Coptic, Kemetic Coptic. And the only reason I named it that is because I had this realization, this epiphany that if I take all the different aspects of myself and put them into complete balance, um, then it will bring me prosperity. It will bring prosperity in all aspects of my life.
So
That's the message. That's the message I got from them.
is Uja a feminine or male masculine energy?
It's both. I'm gonna say it's more focused towards a masculine energy, but it is anchored towards a balance between masculine and feminine. It's a consciousness. It would be a more masculine energy because it wants structure and order. But in activity, it wants balance between masculine and feminine energy within, not only within the different parts of itself, but in the collective. So
That
that's
makes
what
a
it
lot of
that's what it
sense.
advocates. So it's basically a protector. It's basically a feminine, a masculine energy, a divine masculine energy that's a protector of divine feminine energy and the balance
Mhm.
between the two.
Yeah. And do you feel like when you go, because psychosis is very emotional, like there's a lot of tears, there's a lot of, as you said earlier, like frustration, agitation, like there is a lot of breaking through, if that makes sense. So do you feel like that side is the feminine or both? I ask these questions because I do have very big debates about this. Do you feel like you're more in your feminine when you're feeling unbalanced with your emotions?
I'm definitely more in my divine feminine. I'm definitely more in my divine, connected to divine feminine when I'm going through a great spiritual change or transformation. Because I have to be at one with my heart, and I have to feel more. I have to be more sensitive, and I have to learn how to be that same at that same point of sensitivity continually after that point, in order to keep progressing.
You're amazing. Let me just tell you that again. You are. And I looking at you and speaking to you before, I saw the transition. I saw the dark side and the light side and how you pull through it. Okay. And you're here to speak about it today. What is the advice you would give someone that's going through
I'm
what you went
grateful.
through?
I feel so good. I feel so good that you said that. I'm grateful. I just want to say that.
Yeah, no. I see you shining. Don't worry, I see you. What would your advice be to someone that's going through what you went through with a psychosis?
Um, Breathe, breath work. My first thing that I could say is do breath work. Learn how to control your breath, because your breath is your spirit, and your spirit um is a route to allow you to connect into deeper aspects of your soul. So when you do certain breath work or techniques, then you can be able to calm yourself at will, excite yourself at will. You can basically your breath is your thinking space. Your breath is your thought frequency. Your
Right.
breath is your breath. How often, the type of way that you breathe is going to be the type of way that you think. You know what I'm saying? The way that you breathe is the way that you're going to think, in
Mm.
whatever moment it is. And so that's one thing that I learned, that that can help someone that's going through spiritual psychosis. First, breathe so that you can get your thoughts in order. And once you get your thoughts in order, um, that's gonna also help you to take your time. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing I wanted to say before breath, but I want to put it in order. Take your time, um, with understanding why you're going through what you're going through, because it's going to be different for everybody. Take your time to understand why you're going through what you're going through, the different situations, how they connect. And since when a quote unquote spiritual psychosis is different for everyone, based on the different information, that is integrated into their consciousness through their own specific spirituality. you have to slow down your breath. Slowing down your breath will help you take the proper time to break down every single aspect of what's going on in the now.
It's like a child being told to calm down, breathe.
Calm
Right.
down, breathe. And it's eventually what it's going to do. If you make this like ritualistic, what it's going to do is going to take you into a deep meditation that help you do shadow work and heal your inner child. Because that's what it's all coming from. It's all coming from your inner child or inner trauma that you've been through, and not knowing how to deal with overloads of information. Because that's what basically what we're going through. We're everything that's happening right now is a expansion of consciousness. It's a high vibrational thing. It's all the vibrations on this planet where the negative or positive are getting heightened. So everything is getting heightened at one time. So, you know, this is inevitable for a lot of people. It's
Right.
going to happen. So it's about, slowing down when it comes to time. See, the thing is, with me, I have this philosophy where time is relative. A lot of people say time is illusion. A lot of people say, time doesn't exist. But in my realm, time does exist. It's just in different cycles, and it
Right.
depends on the type of energy that you have and the quality of that energy in the moment. There's something called four-dimensional space-time curvature, which I always talk about on my channel. Four-dimensional space-time curvature states, however much energy is in one space, and this is not my words. This is the scientific community's words. This is scientists' words, things that have been repeatable, that they have seen over time. And all I did was take it and I put it into a metaphysical, I integrated it into my metaphysicality. And
Right.
so what four-dimensional space-time curvature states is however much energy is in one space, and the quality of that energy determines the time that happens within that space. You already have your own space. Everyone has their own space. So it's about the energy that you put within that space. And your thoughts are energy.
Right. Exactly.
Your breath
Exactly. And I
work,
tell everyone, yeah.
your breath work helps you to train your thought. So if you're doing your breath work slowly, consciously, in fact, if you breathe in, slower. I mean, no. If you breathe out, if you try to breathe out slower than you breathe in, that actually calms your body more, and it actually trains your thoughts better in
I've
a more
just got that book,
ordered
right?
way.
That's like 500 pounds, and it's the Tree of Life book. Okay. This book shows you every form of breath work. It actually shows you how to tap into the Kundalini. Wait, I'll get it, okay? Because this book, loads of people ask me to take pictures because it's a lot of money right now, right? But your breath work. And you remember I was talking about the monk earlier that was a breatharian, and he was so in tune with himself that he was able to breathe and be a breatharian, live off of air, no food, no water, right? He was also a man that can change and turn himself to dust. So he was out of this realm at that 12th dimension. I do feel like when you are an early beginner to meditation, I'm just going to say this quick, John, and then I'll let you carry on. Be very careful because you're opening up yourself to portals. You're literally opening up yourself. You are the gateway. So be very, very careful. Some people, when they go into meditation, they see that dark space. Cross past it. Don't be in fear. I actually do meditation classes, so hit me up. Once you pass there, that's when you got this shit unlocked, okay? You won't see rosy colors and all of that straight away. You may be distracted. But what you need to make sure is that you're protected. So imagine yourself in a bubble and you're protected. If you have any form of angel guides or any form of deities that you work with, ask for their protection every time you go into meditation or do any form of spiritual or self-healing work. I just wanted to put that out there, guys, because I do like to press on that hardly because most people have a spiritual psychosis attack when they're doing all these forms of meditations, making these altars for these deities and the rishas that they do not know of, and they're making themselves open. All right? To be protected at all times, do your research before you jump ahead because it's not something to mess with. The mind, the mind is a powerful thing, and you don't want to make it trip. Okay, just need to put that out there. As my brother down there with my spiritual psychosis, it's real life shit. Carry on, brother. Oh yeah, my question. I got a question for you. So you said you went into your childhood trauma. Do you feel now you have healed from that childhood trauma and you notice the triggers? And are you able to see the triggers in others where you can teach them how to deal with this childhood trauma if they have the same childhood trauma as you?
Yeah. To answer the first part of the question, yes, definitely. I noticed a drastic change in my interaction with others, and my vulnerability and the way that I can converse with people. It's like it's a social thing. It's a social construct. When you have certain traumas inside of you that you haven't dealt with yet, it's kind of it gives off this weird vibe, not only for you directly, but onto other people. And they don't know what's going on with you. You're the only person, and especially if you don't know what's going on with you. So, that's why the meditation is so important. Breath work is so important. And to answer the second part of your question, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can be able to talk somebody through a very deep meditation. The type of meditation I did is an ontological meditation, which deals with mathematics. It deals with the 0 point state, the zero dimension, and it helps one to stretch into the 12th dimension. Actually, that's why I'm also glad that you spoke about the 12 dimensions. So yeah, it actually helps you to go reset back to the 0 point and be able to direct your consciousness into whatever traumatic experience you may have went through from the 0 point onward. And it actually helps you to connect with all the other dimensions. So yeah, to answer both of those questions, yes.
And when he says retract back, it's like imagine you being that child again that had no fear whatsoever. No fear, no worries, no, just nothing but happiness and just getting up and every day feels like Christmas. Do you know what I mean? Like that, going back to that zero dimension. And you're able to do it. Loads of people long for a place they want to call home. That most of that place that they long for is the happy place that once exists in their world. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you can create that all over again.
You got to go back. You got to go back. You got to go back and repair your timeline. Well, a lot of people got to understand is that your DNA, okay, our DNA right now is structured to be able to take on 12 strands. But what most of us are just now getting to is just the 3 strand. So when it comes to strand healing, or when it comes to reattaching strands, or expanding the information from your 2 DNA strand out into the other dimensions of strands that you can have, it takes going into the information. What we got to understand is that the DNA, we think that the DNA is just something that you got to take, see under a microscope. But no, what you're experiencing is your DNA. What your brain thinks is experiencing is your DNA. So everything that you're experiencing, your imagination, and what you see as physical right now, or as dense right now, is your DNA, both simultaneously, even though it's 2 different forms. Because while we're talking right now, both of us are imagining, different things, or there are things going through our head right now, and there are images attached to those things. And what those images are different frequencies that the brain is tuning into as it's listening to this dimension and tuning into it. So it's a cyclical thing that's happening simultaneously as we're existing. And that's what your DNA is in its simplest terms. It's not just something you look at under a microscope to see what ATCs and Gs you have. So when you go into a meditative state or your imaginative state, and you go into a meditation, a deep meditation, and you cross over through that threshold of the void, then you cross over into the DNA realm, or the multidimensional realm, or the multiple timeline realm. So you go into, your different timelines of yourself,
Right.
backtracking, and then you be able to
Absolutely.
repair that DNA through that. You repair that DNA through that by going back to your childhood self, or a version of yourself that's like your childhood self, no matter how
The
you see
version
it,
of yourself that you
and
was
repair it.
happy in. Exactly. It's like when we get into relationships and it's like, what was I before I met this person? What was I doing before I met this person? How was I feeling? What was I looking like before I met this person? Do you get what I mean? It's
Right.
finding yourself again and not letting nothing get you out of that spare. So it's like life does that.
Right.
Just
And then
like
when you
you
come out the
said,
meditation, like, I don't know if it's going to be like this for everybody, but as soon as you come out of the meditation, it's like
yeah.
it's more than an epiphany. It's more than an epiphany. It's more than an epiphany. It's so much relief. It's like
Mhm.
probably like three. It's probably like 3 to 6 epiphanies at
Put
one
your
time.
YouTube in the comments so everyone can follow and they can do that meditation. Guys, the meditation, so his techniques, what he was speaking of, be very cautious when doing, and you can ask Jar any questions. Make sure you follow his channel. Please put it in the comments right now, Jar. And make sure
Oh,
you
put in
follow
the
him as
comments.
well.
Okay.
Yeah, and make sure you follow him as well. But going back to that happy place, going back to that happy person, that person that you want to, okay, that person that had no trauma, wouldn't let anyone upset them, didn't care about flipping bills, had no fear, like going back to that place and living in that place and just being happy with yourself. So there is meditations for that shit. Okay, this is how the universe works. Okay, and spirituality is the best thing ever because you're able to manipulate. You're able to make it and mold it to be your own way. It's that. So why don't use
Yeah,
it?
that's basically what spirituality is about. And I think a lot of people, need that reminder.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people need that reminder that
Right.
spirituality is science. And it's not just science, it's the
Exactly.
science of manipulating energy.
Exactly.
Spirit is breath, breath is energy. You break it down to its simplest form. Spirituality is the manipulation of energy, the study and manipulation of energy, especially yours, especially your
Exactly.
own.
Exactly. I
So,
always
yeah.
like, I mean, it's just learning how to balance it though. So when you are spiritual and you've mastered it, right? So me, I've mastered manifestation. Like I've mastered it to the point where I have to be very careful with what I say. Okay. It's like if I go outside and it's raining and I say, oh damn, I'm gonna get sick. Guarantee Lex is getting sick because I called that for myself. Right? But I can manifest and everything happens for me. But you have to, but I could say that and someone be like, oh, damn, she's full of herself. So it's finding that balance within your ego as well when it comes to spirituality. Because you're so in your own square, in your own circle, so in tune and know what path you're on. Some people might find that intimidating, and some people might feel that it's very egoistic. So it's finding that balance and finding a way how to explain it to people where they will understand that you're not feeling like you're bigger than them or you're higher than them. You want to put them on par. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
You want to put them on game. But there's those people that's doing that, I like to call it one dimension, where they feel like we're trying to be better than them. No, we're not. We're not saying we're better than any religion or anything else. We're just saying everything that the Lord or God speaks of is you. And
That's a
that's
fact.
what it boils down to. You are a God within yourself. So it's like, why belittle your own energy when you can just live in your own energy and be big?
Right. And if you feel triggered or threatened by anybody that's presenting some information that you haven't gotten yet, that's what's called cognitive dissonance. And that just on a surface level, that means that it's a piece of information that you have been maybe indoctrinated or self-hypnotized yourself to, that your body and your mind um is not used to taking in. It doesn't mean it's
Like,
bad.
it's like, ooh, I
Um,
see you getting mad. Why you mad? But you know
and
it's the
then
truth.
on a deeper level, cognitive dissonance is an indicator that there may be a trauma or a few that you have not addressed yet within yourself. That is
Right.
keeping you from reacting responsibly and taking accountability for your actions within the moment fully. So yeah, when somebody comes with new information, I'm just tell you what I do. I listen. When someone comes with any type of information, really, even
I
if it's
listen
information that
here.
I've heard before, because a lot of people got that thing bad too. That if it's information they've heard before, I don't want to hear that anymore. I don't want to hear that. I already know
All
that.
right,
But no,
cool.
repetition is the mother of wisdom. So we must be able to take in information, even if we already heard it over. What we got to understand is how the brain works, and I teach about this neuro, neurology, neurons, how the brain works. You have synapses, you have neurons, and you have synapses, and you have dendrites, and you have in these webs of information, these neurons and synapses. The more you experience certain things in certain environments, repeatedly, the stronger the synapses get, which means the stronger the electromagnetic waves get in your body when it comes to that thing.
Right.
So if you're like people, a lot of people are talking about like telekinesis and aerokinesis and things like that aren't real. No, they're not real to you because you haven't trained your body. You haven't trained your neural makeup, your neural
To make
synapses, your
it work.
network
Yeah.
to be able to go into. You haven't put yourself in an environment consistently putting yourself in a certain environment to be able to witness yourself doing that or
Doing
witness
that.
someone else doing that. And so, in its simplest form, in its simplest terms, to make it simple, whatever we do repeatedly or whatever we repeatedly experience becomes embedded within our mind, period, no matter what you're doing. And the more it's embedded within your mind, the more it can become applicable to you so that you can do it yourself.
Like, I can't express that enough. Like you basically just broke it down. And they literally have to put their ego away, like ego aside. Like no one's better than anyone. We're all gonna die. It's just like being open to listen. I love a conversation of people that
I'm
turn
just being
around.
honest. I don't think the ego, I'm just being honest. I don't think the ego is the problem because the ego is just a sense of self. I think that people don't know what the I think that people don't know how to use their ego.
Yeah, that's what I
People
mean.
don't really know
Exactly.
what the ego is and know how to use their ego.
They don't know how to use it. So that's
And
why I was gonna go into this
people
when
let
I
their
like
ego override them. People
right.
let their ego, take control of their
So
soul.
when I say ego is a myth, it's like it was suppressed them from learning or them from being around a certain individual. So it's like, as I was going to say, when there's a group of people and a person that's not afraid to say they don't know or they didn't know, and thank you for teaching me that, my brother. Do you get what I mean? That's a man that may have an ego but knows how to have balance within it. It's like, okay, I don't really like to say the word humble, but it's like, okay, thank you for teaching me. And
No,
I didn't know.
it's not really. It's not really humble if you break it down etymologically. It's really more grateful.
Yeah,
It's just being thankful.
yeah,
It's just
exactly.
showing gratitude, showing
But some
and
people
giving.
struggle with that. Like they seriously struggle, especially sisters. Like I find that they will struggle with being like, "Yo, sis, thank you. You taught me something. Like I just learned something from you." Especially with my shade of skin. Like I find that happens quite a lot, and it's like,
There's a big there's a big difference in vibration when it comes
mm,
to yo. I know
when
I
it comes
heard
to
that before,
the-
man. All right, man. You done said that. All
yeah,
right, I'm out. And this, yo. Thank you for telling me that. I'm
yeah.
grateful.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
You can clearly see. If you can't clearly see the difference in vibration in that, then you really have some. We have some work to do. And I not trying to be like hard. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying. There's pain in life and there's pleasure in life, and a lot of times the truth hurts. So hey, I'm gonna tell you like it is. you need some work. If you can't tell the difference between, a healing vibration and a hurtful and a non-considerate and inconsiderate. If you can't tell the difference between a considerate vibration and an inconsiderate vibration by now, then you're really behind and you need to catch up. And I will help you catch up. And I have other people. If I can't help you catch up, I can refer you to other people that can help you catch up. Like, for real, you really need to catch up.
I experienced this the other day, my brother. I'm not gonna lie. There was a sister speaking, and I was like, and then someone else was saying something, and everything they were saying, she automatically thought they were talking about her. Now it aligns with her, but at the same time, it's like, stop taking her offense. Take it as a lesson, take it as a teaching, and then be like, cool, thank you. Rather than trying to combat or argue with it. You've been doing that your whole life, combating and arguing with it. Ain't you tired? And all you have to say is, okay, you're right. Thank you. But instead, you want to feel like you're always right and harm yourself along the way. It doesn't make sense. And I see a lot of people doing that. A lot of people.
Yeah, it's over with for that. It's Age of Aquarius, guys. It's Age of Aquarius.
It is. It is. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I went through a stage of just being at home alone. Trust for me was very, very strong. Because I noticed like some people are just out there for me to be raving with them, going out with them, or just to speak to me about their love and relationships. But no one asked how I was doing or how I was feeling mentally. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
And now I realize I was expecting too much. Not everyone's gonna think like me, and that's okay. So I flipped it. I'm not gonna lie, I flipped it, and I've helped them people see where they could be a bit more sincere, a bit more open, a bit more helpful with other people, rather than just concentrating on self, and wondering why things ain't gonna work out for them. It takes a whole village. Do you know what I mean? So you have to give in order to receive. Basically, that's my message right now. You have to give in order to receive. Now, people think, oh, I'm doing all of this and I'm spiritual and I'm meditating and I'm manifesting this or whatever. But are you giving?
Or are you giving your full self?
Exactly.
Because are you giving your full self? Are you being truly authentic? Because there's dark and light in everything. And what you gotta learn is to find people or to be as honest with yourself as possible in order to find people that'll be able to take that honesty and take because we've all done things, you know what I'm saying, we're ashamed of, and we all a part of us likes things that may be taboo to a certain group of people. So it's about, being honest with yourself and being able to be honest with others that are like you, that are willing to be open to take you in.
Exactly that. Like, I knew I grew up around a bunch of females and all of them act like they never sucked dick. But they did. And it's like, you're not being honest with yourself when it comes to that small thing. It's like, how can I be around you? Do you know what I mean? When I'm honest, but you'll rather let me look like the wild one, the freaky one, when you're all doing the same shit. And that's how it is when it comes to everything in life. That was just an example that the small-minded can relate. Okay.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. No, I'm glad you brought that up because that's another thing when it comes to the 12 dimensions. We started, we started at the 0 and we go into the 1. The 0 is basically simultaneous as the 1. But then, like, in the root chakra, that's our primal desires. That's what the body wants. And so each one of our primal desires, each human being's primal desires are going to be different because we all have different genetic makeup, but they're all going to be based on certain things that our ancestors have went through and that, we've experienced, our lineage has experienced before, our bodies came into existence in order to make our bodies come into existence. So our consciousness may be, a 12-dimensional being, a big ass 12-dimensional being, or a god, or a deity, a divine entity, and we come into a body that wants, like lower pleasures, you know what I'm saying, lower desires, things like that. And now we got to balance that. And that's another thing that can initiate spiritual psychosis. Because
Yes,
you can be in the middle and you want these higher things, and then every time you go through a certain cycle in your life, these lower desires keep popping up, and you wanna be spontaneous, or you're based on your
that's
astrological energy or something like that,
crazy.
or your
That was
astrology,
my
or your
psychosis.
numerology, or your human design, or your 13
Hmm.
moons, or anything. It's so many different arrays of self, of knowledge of self, when it comes to the body and the spirit and the soul. You could be striving for higher things, and all of these different parts of yourself keep popping up at you. And all it is just an indicator that you need to balance them with your path. And that's it. You need to balance them with your path. And you need to you need to find a way to integrate them into your path. And when you get to the zero dimension, that's gonna help you integrate, because it's not linear. And it's not linear. It's a roundabout perspective. It's a roundabout perspective of how to integrate each part of yourself into your mind, because that's basically where the 0 point is. 0 point is the source and the core of your mind. And when you learn to integrate all of these different aspects of yourself, and being in unity consciousness, you get to see that not every day is going to be good, quote unquote good. Not every day is going to be, quote unquote sunshine and fairies and butterflies and flowers, but you're most likely going to be prone to see the connectivity within conversations that you see, within
Yeah,
anything that you see, anything that you experience. You're most likely going to see the connectivity between those things, and how it's unified, and how it is also unified with your consciousness and a reflection of your consciousness, and how it can reflect onto your consciousness a higher state of epiphanies or enlightenment in the moment.
that was perfectly good. That was perfectly put, because I can even relate to that. No, I appreciate you, Jar. And I hope everyone
Hey, I'm just
else.
being honest. Hey, I'm real.
No, 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 no,
I'm real
no.
as
That's
fuck,
you.
dude. Hey,
We
you
have
know
to
me.
feel
Hey, you know me,
comfortable.
fam, bro. Hey, hey, I don't play about this shit for real. Like for
No,
real.
it's nice.
I can
It's
tap.
so
I can tap into any
nice.
part of myself right now, and still say the same shit, just in another way. Real shit.
No, I know where you bought my book, but I know where to go when I need to speak.
And for real, and you can feel the authenticity. Like I don't play. Like not try to get too much into my ego, but you know what I'm
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I was on mute for a minute, wasn't I? But yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. All right, Job. Thank you so much. I'm gonna wrap this up. I did manage to record majority of it. Okay, it automatically goes onto my Instagram. Yeah, it should. I need to find a way. Stay there. It should
saying?
automatically go
No.
into your.
Yeah, it
Huh?
should automatically go. After you end it, it should ask you if you want to save it or not, or something like that.
And then it should go onto your Instagram as well, if I remember rightly.
Yeah,
It will
it
go.
should. Yeah, it should.
It will. No, I appreciate you, and I do. I need to do another live with you, but I'm gonna get my girl involved as well, and we're gonna talk on like the spirit realm. If you're down for that.
Okay, that goes hand in hand with ontology.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I'll think about that.
So,
I'm gonna.
okay, before we head out though, I
Yeah.
want to say, yo, everyone that's on my page and her page right now, I'm trying to take over your live real quick.
Go
Go
on, do
get her
your
book.
thing.
Go get her book. She's working on another book right now. But go get her book. It's a spiritual journal. I forgot the name of it. I don't know if you can tell them the name of it. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Awakening your spirituality.
Awakening Your Spirituality. Yeah. And so you can go get her book there, on Amazon. And I also have a book out. It's called Transform Your Life. Um, it's a self-development ebook. It talks more about the brain though. It takes more about the brain and
Nice.
goal setting, things like that, the neurology, things like that. And
Wait, you said you have it. Is it on Amazon?
No, it's not. It's not on Amazon. I actually have my own website, and so you're gonna find it
Right.
on my website, and it's in my it's the link. It's in the link in my bio,
All right.
and
Good.
so yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we have books. We have books out for anybody that wants to delve into this information. Hers is probably more more practical than mine. But I do have some more. I do have some practical instances or practical chapters in my book. That you can look over and apply to your own life. So yeah, we have books out.
Amazing.
Go get
I
'em.
didn't even know the jar. Guys, make sure you go and to his page, click the link in his bio, go straight to his website and subscribe. I've pinned, that's his YouTube down there. I've pinned it, okay? Make sure you subscribe, please. Right? Support my brother all the way. So I appreciate you so much, Jar. And as for your book, is it okay if I put it on my website and then I'll add a link because I do like to do that. So I add a link when people go to my website, they can automatically click on it and it will take them to yours. But we'll talk about that off of here because I do like to spread the love. Okay. But yeah, I appreciate you. Peace and balance and abundance. You are amazing and keep being you. You're so transparent as well. That's the most great thing.
Bliss and glory, goddess. Hey,
I swear to God.
hey, you know what it is. You know what it is.
Oh my God, my chest
Listen,
loud.
bliss and glory to you. You know what I'm saying? You emanate what is called a mystical. You emanate a mystical presence.
Oh,
That's what you
you.
do. You emanate a mystical, beautifully mystical presence. That's like glittery. If I can
Yeah, I'm
like
in my
imagine the aura.
fairy energy right now. It's weird how you say that. Every time, like even the word fairy just pops into my mind. Like it sounds weird to other people, but I am in my fairy energy right now. If you asked me last year, I was in my darker, gothic, Lilith kind of energy. I'm more in the brighter, fairy, colorful thing. So yeah, I'm there. But I appreciate you guys in abundance and most of all. I will
Peace and
definitely share
love.
this live. And it will be saved as well, Jaya. So have an amazing day and thank you for joining me at Spiritual Chronicles. Take care. Bye.
Peace and love. Hey, it's been a pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
See you later.